It's nice to see that you're all in your regular place. When we hear about Peter in the Gospels, there's always some excitement that he adds. Today, Peter gets what he asks for, an invitation from Christ to come to him across the water. Peter jumps from the boat, starts toward the Lord, but suddenly has second thoughts about his ability to do what he is doing. And with this doubt, he begins to sink. He asks for help, and the Lord stretches out his arm and saves him. What can you and I learn from this gospel passage? We first must recall that sometimes, not all the time, water in the scriptures was seen as a symbol of darkness or evil. The fact that the Lord walked on the water was a sign of his ability to conquer that evil. Peter asked the Lord to call him across the water, perhaps as a sign of his desire to conquer something that's not right in his life. To one degree or another, all of us are like Peter. There are things in our lives that we ought to and try to overcome. The problem of evil in our life might be just basic self-centeredness that's manifested in a variety of ways. How we live in relationships, how we interact with friends, even how we view our relationship with the Lord. I need to ask myself, must nearly everything revolve around me and my needs and my wants? Perhaps the problem of evil in my life is an exaggerated emphasis on my career, or my school, or my sports, and not enough on family, friends, and the disenfranchised in our society. Peter took the courageous step of leaving the boat and trying to walk on the water, perhaps to conquer the forces of evil. He ran into difficulty when he took his eyes off the Lord and to begin to worry about his own ability to overcome it. The truth is that we really are unable to conquer all the forces of evil without the Lord's help. We need to feel his arm reaching out and helping us, assisting us. When we focus solely on our problems, on the need we have for the Lord, we begin to sink. During this Eucharist, let us ask the Lord to give us the courage and the strength to change the things that need to be changed in our lives. And remember that, like Peter, all we need to do is call upon him, and he will stretch out his hand to save us. Hear the Lord say to you, take courage. As Father Healy mentioned, after the homily, Chris Hughes will come forward for a blessing as he leaves next week to begin his seminary formation. I've been kidding Chris that this simple blessing has become more like an ordination, with his family and friends receiving invitations, and close to 1,000 people here witnessing it. When I left for the seminary, hardly anybody knew that I was leaving. And my parents simply drove me to Hartford and dropped me off. When we had the special blessing for Matt Laird a couple of years ago, I shared at that time what my father, a man of few words, would say to me as he was closing the door on his way home. He said to me, "Remember, you can come home at any time. No questions asked." Because seminary is a time to discern if priesthood is what the Lord is asking of you. So Chris, if you decide to come home, you'd be welcomed by this community and other communities that you'll be involved in. No questions asked. We're simply grateful that you have given it a try. This is more for Chris's parents, Dan and Joe. My father told me the story that a few days after I went into the seminary, the parish priest said to him, "How's Dan doing?" Or he probably in those days said, "How's Danny doing?" And my father said to him, "He's doing fine, but maybe you should talk to my wife." She cried all the way home.